Well, a warm welcome to everyone. My name is Eugenia Núñez. I work for the United Nations Trade and Development. I'm a senior economist, and I was overseeing this project for the last year. My presentation is intended to remind ourselves as to the content of this project that comes to a close today and how this partnership with the Air Center came about. It will cover first how the project was conceived, its aims, its activities, thanks all to the government of Portugal who funded the project. So just a little bit of a glimpse of what we do at United Nations Trade and Development. On the one hand side, we have the United Nations Commission on Science and Technology for Development. This is the only UN system-wide body in charge of technological issues. There, they examined at one of their annual sessions, they examined two priority themes that you can see in the slide. And among one of the priority themes was exploring space technologies for sustainable development. That is where the initiative for this project was born, again, thanks to the funding of Portugal. On the right-hand side, you can see United Nations Trade and Development. There, I just wanted to depict a bit the difference because we at the United Nations Trade and Development, we serve the UN CSTD, but we're apart from UN CSTD. What we do at UNCTAD is we have three pillars. We have the intergovernmental track, we do research, and we do technical cooperation projects such as this one that came to an end. On the intergovernmental track, we have many other meetings aside from the CSTD meetings. On the research side, we do many publications. You may know the Technology and Innovation Report that we issue regularly. And then there's a technical cooperation projects well and beyond the one that we are closing today. So what brought us here? What brought us was an international partnership with the Air Center, but as well with national and partnerships with South Africa and with Brazil. We can count on today with the presence of Fabio, our focal point, Nale, our focal point in South Africa, Fabio in Brazil, from the South African Space Agency SANSA, and from LAMSE COPE of the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro. Apart from that, we count on a representative from South Africa as well, Slindi, welcome, and Daniela, our champion in Brazil, welcome as well. So just to go back a bit on the project, what were the objectives of this project? We wanted for experts to absorb, manipulate, decipher, and digitalize information in support of SDGs, using geospatial technologies and Earth observation. We expected from this project to train and share knowledge to accelerate SDGs using the Julia programming language. We wanted to build an inclusive community of developing countries with Julia, but also we wanted to emphasize on the participation of women. And we chose Brazil and South Africa. Why? Because Brazil and South Africa are countries that are rich in technological resources. They're very committed to SDGs, and we expected that they could be leaders in their own regions on this issue. So hopefully we can look forward into some replication within the regions, with the help of our friends here. So I think that João stated briefly what the project has done. So this is the path that conducted us there. On the right-hand side, you see pictures of the international workshop that we did last year. This was in the Azores, and this was the launch of the project. Then we had the national workshop in Brazil that you can see in the middle. That's the picture of the national workshop we had in April 2024. South African workshop is in the bottom right. And then that brings us to the online advanced workshop we conducted recently on the 20th of November. And then finally, we have this international workshop that marks the closure of the project. So what are the key takeaways that I think that the project has in its pocket? This project, I think, provided developing countries with state-of-the-art tools to process data and collaborate on Earth observation. So I hope that we have built in some way or contributed to build an inclusive community of experts, in particular of women, that can continue to collaborate. The end is not here. Maybe the end of the project is here, but hopefully this will continue. Beyond this project, please continue to build your networks to strengthen linkages among scientists, but mostly, and I said this from the very outset, it is very important that between scientists and the policymakers, that we learn how to communicate with them with the tools we have so they can actually have evidence for their own policies. So let's hear from the focal points. I think that it's most important not only for me to speak out here, but throughout the week or whenever there is time, it would be great to hear from our own focal points on their experiences and how they benefited from the project. What lies ahead? On the side of UNCTAD, the United Nations Trade and Development, we have many interesting initiatives coming up. We have a program with Okayama University in Japan for young scientists. This has been extended for a further 5 years. We have a technology assessment project with new funding coming up for the next 3 years, starting in 2026. We have the Gender Advisory Board of CSTD in particular that's developing a work plan with our support, and that's going to be quite a lot of interesting activities and related to what you are doing. We are continuing to conduct our research. We're going to update, for example, the methodology on technology assessments with a gender dimension. There are many other activities. I'm more than happy to share with you one-on-one if anything is of interest. So finally, I just want to say a big thanks for the partnership with the Air Center. And a big special thanks, because I know the challenge you go through in developing countries to organize these things, for our local partners, for our national partners, their agencies, and in particular for Fabio and Nale for their support. It has been a pleasure working with you, and hopefully we can meet again in the near future. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Fabio Hochleitner. I'm the head of the Earth Observation Group in Lansing, Federal University of Rio. I'd like to thank Air Center and UNCTAD for the invitation to be here today. Lansing, it's at the Federal University of Rio. It's the office of Air Center in Rio. The objective of Lansing is to conduct research, develop initiative, computational methods, and make use of scientific visualization resources in high-performance computing in order to meet the demands of various fields, including health, urban metabolism, urban planning, and renewable energy. As mentioned in April, we had the opportunity to organize the first workshop in Rio. The workshop was an opportunity to present Julia to the scientific community and to decision makers from various government institutions, as well as private companies in the urban planning sector, early disaster warning, and health, and so on. For countries like Brazil, with low distribution of in situ data collection, geospatial technologies have recently gained much attention as a potential solution to fill data gaps and improve data quality, as well as to increase its SDG reporting rate in Brazil. The continuation of a project like this, it's in a possible second phase with a selection of real pilot applications for proof of concept is fundamental for improving decision-making in these conditions. Julia has proven to be a very important and powerful tool, combining data analysis with high-performance computing and scientific visualization. Especially in Brazil, Julia can play a transformative role in addressing these challenges by empowering researchers and professionals to optimize resource by combining simplicity with performance. A key point of great significance is to promote collaboration. So Julia's open source nature aligns with Brazil's growing emphasis on open science and knowledge sharing, mainly because of its characteristics and because it allows young scientists in the geoscience, like Daniela, undergraduate student in meteorology at the Federal University of Rio, to have a rapid learning curve for their analysis and scientific visualization, thus contributing to their engagement in projects and applied research. Thanks again to all participants and the speakers. It will be a great week for learning and sharing knowledge of Julia and how we can incorporate all the analysis and visualization tools into our work. Thank you again. Thank you, Eugenia. Thank you, João. Thank you, Araceli.
Good morning, I am Daniela Marinho. I'm an undergraduate student at Meteorology in the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro, and I'm also a member of the Laboratory of Computational Methods in Engineering, LANCE. And so my first contact with Julia was in April in the workshop that had taken place in Rio. And I have never heard about Julia before, so it was really my first contact. And I think it was a really good week because I had to learn so much that week. And so then I started my first steps on Julia. In LANCE, I work in some projects, but my main project is ESOP, that is the Alert Early System of outbreaks with pandemic potential. So my part in the project is to find relations between the data from the health system of Brazil, the SUS, and meteorology data like rain or temperature, humidity. And one of most difficulties is programming, because the students of meteorology, at least in my university, we don't have like background in programming, and we don't have tools or ways to learn it. It's really difficult. So since April, I've been using Julia to study and searching for efficient ways to show my data, because our data is supposed to help in decision-making process regarding disease outbreaks, but also to show the community of Brazil the relationships between them. So we need something good, fast, but we need something to be simple because of that difficulty in learning and having tools for the students in Brazil. Yeah, I believe I was fast, but I like to thank Eugenia and the UN, João and Air Center, and also Fabio and all my colleagues in LANCE. And this week, I hope I can learn more and I can share with all my colleagues in Brazil and talk with all of you, because I think you are all experts in programming, about how can I show my results to people and the government of Brazil. Thank you.
Good morning. Or should I say bon dia? Because you are very quiet. Thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is Ngalizani Mudau. I am from South Africa, South African National Space Agency. I am responsible for data products and services, but otherwise I'm also responsible for leading human settlement-related projects and ensuring that we integrate space technologies into decision-making. We are grateful to be chosen as one of the beneficiary countries to this capacity building project. I think the timing for the project was perfect, as the country and the world are becoming more aware of the value of Earth observation in supporting decision making, especially when we tackle the challenges that we are faced with. So SANSA, as a space agency, we are tasked with promoting and ensuring that Earth observation benefits the society. And to do that, we provide access to data, satellite data. We do research in Earth observation and other space technologies and space science. We also developed products and services to support decision making. So we can only achieve this through partnership with the national stakeholders, including academia and also research institutions, but most importantly, also through international collaborations like this one. The timing of the workshop or the project was also perfect, as it came during the time when we are implementing what we call the Space Infrastructure Hub project, which is aimed at building a space capability in the country. So we are investing in building satellites, in building human capital, and also in developing products and services to ensure that South Africa benefits. So learning, I was also not aware of Julia. In fact, when I got the invitation last year, I was thinking, who is this Julia? Because I had not heard about it before, but I'm glad we got the invitation, and I also came through to learn more about Julia. And I also learned that we can actually do a lot with Julia. So in South Africa, we have access to a lot of data sets, satellite data that dates back to 1972, and there's a lot of value that we can derive from the data. And Julia provides us with the opportunity, of course, to extract new information and also to improve our processing speed and ensure that we make the data available to the stakeholders. So the training also helped us to connect to our stakeholders, because we are also responsible for capacity building. So we can only do that when we are working with our national stakeholders. So we were able to reach out to more stakeholders from the academic, private, and also national departments. The training brought together almost 50 physical or face-to-face participants, and the interest was very high, as we had more than 100 registrations. So it was very difficult to even select who should come, who should not come, and we are very grateful for the opportunity. Also the online session that also then provided opportunity for other people to participate. So we are also working on a project called Data Cube, which is aimed at taking advantage of all the data sets that we have, especially high resolution data. And we're looking forward to seeing how we can use and take advantage of all the benefits or functionalities that we can get from Julia. And we're looking forward also to future collaborations with the experts and also with a center and UN Trade and Development. So maybe before I say it, I'll ask Lindy also from one of our stakeholders, Eskom, which is a power utility company, to also come and share her experience. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lindy Mhlongo. I am employed as a Chief GIS Advisor at Eskom South Africa. Eskom is a state-owned electricity utility. So I also got to know about Julia when we got an invitation from SANZA. And the exposure that I received, as well as my colleagues from other state-owned entity that were part of the workshop, was quite vast. And I can see that Julia can aid in decision-making within our operations in the electricity utility, specifically in the GIS Center of Excellence. August was the beginning, and we believe that we need to then, interact with Julia, interact with the experts more, so that we can really improve and enable decision-making using the platform. So we're very grateful for the opportunity to be participant, and we're looking forward to a continued working relationship and continued support so that we can indeed use Julia effectively and efficiently. So thank you very much.
Our apologies. Professor Miguel Miranda, our executive director, wanted to be here now, but unfortunately was stuck. So was the rector of the University of Açores. So I will speak instead of Miguel. Just a few words, a sort of conclusion to this project. So the Air Center is a non-for-profit organization, legally Portuguese, but with many associates around the Atlantic Basin, from Africa, South America, North America, even throughout Northern Europe, all the way to Norway, actually. And we do a lot of training events. Apart from this that we're talking about here, we've done many other events, both here in Portugal, but in Africa too. For example, in Senegal, we had events in Cape Verde and in Nigeria. We resume now other work with Nigeria as well. And we are non-for-profit. All these events are free to participate, and we always strive to keep a register of what happens so that we're creating resources that can be reused then on YouTube, for example, by anyone for free. So really happy to know that there is an impact with this. We believe because it's easy to use, that's really a good welcome for a new tool always. But it's also very powerful. You can do the whole stack we need. So as a scientist, being able to share your work and let others use your work for us is a very appealing characteristic that Julie also has. So we're very happy to keep doing this kind of work. It's part of our DNA to do exactly this. So this concludes a successful project. Thank you so much to UNCTAD as well for your support, for organizing this with us, and for bringing also to our attention this focus on the female scientists, which, as we can see in this room, we're trying to change. Every year has been a little bit better in terms of the female presence, but it's hard in this particular context to make that happen, but we are working on that. So the rector of the University of Açores is not present as well due to unforeseen circumstances. So we have a bit of a bigger coffee break now. So feel free to drink all the coffee you want to keep you awake all day. We just asked them to do it a little earlier, perhaps. I'm not sure still if it's possible or not. I think the answer is coming right now. If you are online, so you have a bit longer, but we will resume at the time that was planned. So at 10. So coffee break at 10. So you have a little break now, and then you will resume the work here at 10:20, more or less. Okay. So on a side note, and this is like not an official announcement, but it's not an official activity, but Chris Rakaukas, who is now a local too, he lives here now on the island, and so you're organizing a karaoke event for Thursday night. So we'll get you more details about that later, specific time and place.
Karaoke is mandatory. You know your song.
I have to include that in the program, okay. All right, so use this time wisely for networking, and I'll see you soon. We'll resume works officially according to the calendar. I think it's 10:20, 20 past 10, yeah? Okay, so if you're online, see you soon. Thank you.